Testing 1, 2. Audio levels look pretty good. A little bit high there. Hey everyone. Welcome all you Splinterheads. Thanks for dropping by. Lots going on this week. Hey, birds, bees, and trees and gathering the magic are in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. First off, I want to say take a note to my pinned comment. I did a video last night, if you missed it, on my, it's basically for the first 6-year anniversary celebration for Splinterlands. They're running a social media contest. They run these on a weekly basis, but this is really the first one that I thought, hey, why not? 6-year anniversary, great thing to talk about, where I was, what I've been doing, and such. So please check out the link and give it a heart. I would appreciate it for all that's worth. So lots to talk about this week. Lots of action. I did a lot of things. Well, I spent a fair amount of money in game this week, mostly related to land, if you caught those videos. Okay, starting off a few comments from birds, bees, and trees. I'm trying to decide which card selection to choose with Glint. I think I'd like to go for legendaries to get Kulu, but then what do you think the best chance for legendaries? I just spent 2K on Gladius. I will wait till next season to round out to 200 Gladius packs with next batch reset in 3 days to save a little Glint, but I only have 28,000 Glint. I'm thinking either 50K for Master Draw would be best. That's a good question, and if you're going to do draws, you need to do them soon before Tuesday. I'm going to switch off this, let's see here. Technical difficulties here. And my alarm went off. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here we go. So we can go to Splinterlands and talk about Splinterlands. If you didn't catch it, the draws, let's go to the shop. The shop is going to change this coming week. So all these random draws, they're going away. So if you want to use them, you need to use them before Tuesday. Okay. So I just want to get that out there. Several people, I didn't put out a video on this, but I probably do need to talk about it. We can talk about it today. These will be changing. The random draws are going away. The rarity draws will stay, but they're coming in with 3 new chests, which are going to bring kind of gambling back in to the thing. You're going to be able to get potions and things of this nature, and energy, which is a big topic as well, because you'll be able to go over the energy cap now, but there's lots of cool things in the mix too for those, because you'll be able to get packs, you'll be able to get land, you'll be able to get titles. So I think the takeaway right here is, if you want to take advantage of random draws, do it before Tuesday whenever the game goes into maintenance mode. Otherwise, they're gone. I think a large portion of people didn't think a lot of them and voiced their opinion very loudly. So I didn't use them a lot. If you watched a few of my videos this past week, or maybe it was last week, I did some veteran and adept draws, and I didn't have too good of luck on my secondary account. I didn't do this on my primary account. So to get back to your initial question about legendaries, I think I'd like to go for legendaries to get cool. I think a lot of people, especially, and it really just depends upon how your deck sits. If the legendaries are the weak part of your deck, obviously I would say stick with legendary draws, right? A lot of people on the top end, where you have most of your commons, rares, and somewhat epics filled out, and legendaries are great, but if you don't have a solid foundation to work with those legendaries, they're not going to save your deck. So I'm just saying, if you're a new player, don't automatically go in and just shoot for legendaries. I would say for a newer player that rares are a great place to be, because with rares you're going to start filling in your summoners, and that's the base of your deck. So as far as legendary goes, it really just comes down to how your deck looks, because there's a lot of good epics in there as well. So think about that. Gathering the Magics here. I have the best luck with veteran draws. The random draws are going away as soon, so no multiple cards possible. Yeah, that's true. We just talked about that. Good morning to all the Splinterheads. Welcome. KGM Jams in the house. Thanks for dropping by. If you happen to be driving around, drive safe. Remember to collect those blue diamonds and Atlas gems in Atlas Earth. Paul Taylor's here. Thanks for coming by. Howdy. Once again, if you didn't see the note that is pinned at the top of the chat, please go vote for my 6th anniversary for Splinterlands article over on Peak D. I would appreciate it. So let's see here. Gathering says 6 years down, forever to go. Well, we'll see. You know, every game has a lifespan, but some games are still, you know, we are on the cutting edge, meaning that we don't know how long this could go, right? There's some traditional games that are going after 20, 30 years. So as long as the game stays somewhat balanced, especially as the finances go and everything, and the team is interested, and, you know, why not? The one thing I'm kind of afraid of, I don't know. In the back of my head, I've seen a lot of games get killed by being bought, okay? A bigger company gets interested, sees the potential in the game, buys it up, and then the small team, while a lot of us complain about it, or, you know, we discuss it ad nauseum, right? A big company like EA will buy up a game and just strain every last dollar out of it as much as possible and kill it off. I'm kind of afraid of that. I mean, at this point in time, the team may like to get bought up because they would become rich off of it, right? But then what would happen to the game? So that's kind of what I'm afraid of in the long haul, because I think that Web3, obviously a lot of us, I mean, I don't think you'd be here if you didn't think Web3 was a future of gaming, right? It's just that the bigger companies are very slow at catching on. And I'm afraid of a big company coming in, buying Splinterlands, choking it out, and it dying a horrible death. So that's the negative part of my brain working, right? Let's see here. Birds, Bees, and Trees says, I was wondering about veteran draws at Gathering the Magic. What do you think? I know you were talking to Gathering about that, but I did some, you know what I did? I did Adept and Veteran, and my Adept draws were actually better than my Veteran draws, but it's all luck, right? I will say that if you're going to take advantage of these random draws, I would not spend potions unless you are doing Veteran, Elite, or Master. I would not waste potions on Initiate or Adept. So, and you can turn those off in your settings. I think most of us know where that is, but if you're relatively new, go into settings and you can turn on or off whether you want your potions to be used, and use them economically, right? I do have a ton of them, but I can foresee down the road that it would become a limited resource at this point in time, since we're not getting tons of them out of chests. Of course, going forward with the random gambling chest type thing coming in, you may be able to pick up some more, so without having to buy them. Gathering follows up that, says, I haven't had much luck with Elite or Master draws. I actually got 2 Legendaries in 10 Veteran draws. If you are trying to get as many cards as possible, regardless of rarity, you want to grab the random draws. Of course, you could still get 1 card in the higher level draws, but usually get multiple. DJ's in the house. Hey, thanks for dropping by. Once again, Gathering follows up with saying, Glint Store gets better and better. Wish they would leave the random draws, though. Yeah, I agree. And I think that KGM said that the other day as well. I think that the more... I don't know what the reason is. I don't know. Initially, when they talked about it in the town hall, they said that they weren't really limited as far as, you know, on the storefront page, as far as the number of items they could have. They said that they could have plenty. they must be wanting to limit it for some other reason. I did see a fair amount of fire and salt going on over the random draws, though, and I think the big takeaway here is that, and they mentioned this in this week's town hall, is that they're listening. Okay, obviously, if you have a problem that is a bug or something in the game, you're going to want to put a ticket in. And if you have an idea that is going to benefit the game to a large extent, you're going to want to put in a proposal, which is relatively expensive, I understand, but and is usually just for the big dogs. But largely, Royal Eagle and a few others have been monitoring the, I'm sorry, I forget her name, have been monitoring chat in Discord and bringing this stuff to the team. And we've seen some relatively rapid changes over the last 4 or 5 weeks due to our feedback going into the team. So I think that's a good takeaway from my point of view. Let's see here, catch up here. Birds, Bees, and Trees says, I was watching Dwayne's video where he shows in Splinter cards the percentage you have in each rarity, and I'm missing a lot. I guess that really comes down to whether you're a collector or whether you're just a player. Because if you're a player, you're more interested in, what cards you're seeing out there being used to great extent, especially against you, and you're formulating new strategies, and you're trying to obviously score better, win more games, then you're just interested in specific cards. Now, you could be both, right? And you could be just wanting to fill your set out. That's fine. I think you just need to look at it and fill in the holes. I think rarity draws will, while they cost more, will allow for much more strategic pinpointing. For instance, I did a video week before last or last week on doing, I did a bunch of rare draws, and I intend to do my full one batch of rare draws every season until I get my summoners filled out. And I may do some other draws, but I'm going to try to stay in that first batch so I'm not paying a premium. That's my main plan. Of course, I don't have a ton of, let's see here, I got 287,000. That sounds like a lot, but if you get in and start using it, it can go away really fast. So, and I am in Champ 3, but I'm only getting a 6.2% boost. And here we go. Archmage is playing a match, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. DJ says, I don't know why they're removing the random draws too. Yeah, I don't know. We could speculate, but I didn't hear Matt or anybody. Obviously, Matt wasn't on the show this week, but I didn't hear anybody say anything about that other than they were going away. Gator said they were going away. So let's see here. They might be keeping an eye on, I'm sure they're keeping an eye on the data as far as how many people are buying what. And, you never know. They may cycle back in with different percentages or something like that. The nice thing about the store now is that it's fluid. They can change things. They usually announce things a couple weeks ahead of time, but there's no rule about that. We could just turn on the game one day and find something new in the store. Who knows? I like that idea. We've talked about this. A number of us who do YouTube videos have talked about the idea of having random cards pop up in the store. They're only there for, it might be a surprise. Hey, 24 hours or hey, 12 hours. These are available. Buy them now, whatever. So I like the idea of spontaneity in the store. This encourages people to log in every day. This is one of the main talking points we've been talking about. Getting new players, having them have a reason to log in every day. A lot of other games, they give you a reason to log in. You got bonuses, you get this, you get that. And I'm not saying make things that obviously would make bots come and try to strip the game back down again, but give people a reason to log in frequently. Okay, let's look at this match. Let's see here. I didn't see the rule set, but Archmage chose... after the show last week, we left the show and I couldn't decide which dragon card to go with. So what I ended up doing was taking my $20 and I took my quicks from level 3 to 4. That was my decision last week. So it chose my quicks, and it's coming up against level 6 magic. So, let's let it play out, see what goes on. Okay, let's go back to chat. Birds, Bees, and Trees says, I saw a little of Town Hall beginning in Tuesday in chess. What packs can we draw? They didn't stipulate it. They left it open, but it's going to be random packs. I didn't hear any specifics. So, but I like that idea. We've had that in the past. I do like the idea, and it looks like I took the win. Okay, so let's see here. I'm in Champ 3. And I took 452 glint and 1.5 SPS. And once again, this is in wild, and the bot Archmage is responsible for that. And that was with just a 1 win streak. So, okay, let's catch up. Gathering says, Matt sounds like the reason he is against VCs is he doesn't want the game to be under the control of someone else. Don't think Matt would sell. Who knows? I don't know Matt personally. I do know that by human, what do I want to say? Human mindset is that if a big company comes at you with a suitcase full of cash, it's very hard to turn that down. So I'll just leave that. I don't like to speculate about that, but I've seen, not in the Web3 space, but I've seen plenty of games. I think we've all, in the past, that have been bought by big companies, ruined, closed down, and then you're like, I've been playing this game for years, and now this big company bought it. We had great hopes for it, and now it's closed down. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Sounds like the jackpot rewards will get refreshed, replenished each season. I heard beta packs, land plots, and titles to start. Yeah, and he also said that the titles will be available until they sell out. Right, and if they go ahead and they sell out, then they won't be available anymore, obviously. Of course, they might come up with some new titles. Who knows? Wibbles in the house. A late wee. Welcome. Gathering says, don't forget, you can buy alchemy potions with Glint to help get gold cards. You can, but I have tons of them, so I haven't been buying them. But yes, that is a good point. But like I said, with the lower end cards, I just don't even worry about it. Supreme Victory Studios is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Hey all, says Glint Store is getting better. Honestly, everything is getting a little bit better. I can agree. The last couple weeks, the decisions being made, stuff being brought into the game, big stuff. I didn't make a video on it, but big stuff coming into the game this Tuesday. Obviously, the DEC grain market, which is the foundation for the whole other. Everybody's like, I think a lot of people think, well, what's so big about the DEC grain market? Everybody's got plenty of grain. It's not just that. It's the fact that this is the basis for all the other markets. This is going to be, this means that this was developed, it was tested, it went through QA, it went through the NAVs and the MAVs, and they're relatively sure that this is good to go, it's going live, right? Obviously, once it hits wild, things could happen, but this means that the basis of the whole, all the different markets within Land 2.0 is set. All they have to do is work all the other items and things you can mine, stuff like that, into the same framework as this and get it up and running. Okay, I'm not saying that is easy, but I'm saying this was the first hard, critical step to pave the way for the rest of those to be done. So I feel relatively sure that once this is up and running and they prove that it's working good, then the rest of that is just cut and paste. Okay, I could be wrong. Obviously, everything's got to be tested, and obviously there's probably a lot of variables there that I'm not aware of, but I'm very happy with this going live, right? As well as, the changes in the store and everything like that. So let's see here. Let's catch up with chat. Birds, Bees, and Trees says, bring back the old battle timer extension. Gathering says, cards will be in the new chests, right? So unless the cost is too high compared to rarity draws, that might be the way to go if you need merits and potions anyway. I think everybody's interested in trying them out. Obviously, it depends upon the price, depends upon how much it's going to cost you to go in and do that, and what your goals are. So, I mean, if you're in a position where obviously the people at the top end and they got a lot of their cards filled out, they're not necessarily interested in the rarity draws other than maybe the legendary draws. Oh, another thing, gold foils, gold foil draws. It's in the mix now, right? He talked about it. So, if you didn't catch that, it's not going in this week. It's not going in this week, but they were talking about it. It's an idea on the table about putting gold foil draws in the store. Obviously, they'll be quite expensive. And from what they were talking about, it's not going to be rarity specific. But if you are only focusing on your gold foils, obviously, like if you want to, if you're in a position where you run gold foil battles for your guild or whatever in the brawls, then they will be available, right? Is this a for sure? No. Will things change? Yeah, probably, but they wouldn't be talking about it if they didn't really intend on doing it, right? I had to get a drink of water. It was a little bit parched. I want to take a minute and say, remember to look at the pinned comment at the top of chat. I did make a video last night for the 6th anniversary celebration for Splinterlands, and that's my entry into the current event they have going on to celebrate the 6th anniversary. Please take a look at that article on over on Peak D and give it a heart. I would appreciate it. So let's catch up with chat. DJ says, not sure if anyone caught into the Splinterverse with Steve R and BB Omega, but they went on the Mav server and opened a bunch of jackpot chests for fun. I noticed a ton of merits, and then I did not see that, but I'll be interested in watching that this afternoon. Obviously, I would, the first thing I would be interested in seeing is the breakdown of percentages. Okay. What's my percentage chance of getting potions? What's my percentage chance of getting merits, etc.? I do think that in the store now, and I said this in the previous video, is that the merits, it's a strong value to at least buy the first batch every season. To get yourself an extra pack every season. That helps out, and those cards are very much harder to come by than your standard soulbound cards, right? So they do, if you're relatively new to the game, they do offer, they are good, a lot of them are good, strong cards in play, whether you're playing in brawls or not. They lead their strongest use case to brawls, right? But it will serve to strengthen your deck. I do believe that at least the first, getting your first round or batch is good every week. Gathering says, I won't complain about getting merits, but hope it is more than 4 per chest. Yeah, I think they're going to have to strongly look at the amount, and they'll probably, I'm betting that they'll probably be starting with the numbers that they used to use for like champ chests and such, and then modify, because obviously those chests, they had SPS, these will not, but these will also have a number of other items. So they'll have to look at the numbers, obviously. And Also, if they come out and people start drawing a bunch of them and start complaining about, the percentages, they might change the percentages. Who knows? Because, you go behind the scene, change the formula a little bit, and that could change a lot of what people think of. Obviously, they don't want to give away too many packs. They want to give away enough. It has to be, at the top end as far as titles, and especially like land plots and stuff, although land plots continue to come down in price. But that's a different subject. I did buy some this week, if you watched that video. Let's see here. How do you think the grain LP will go? Hit or miss? I'm hoping it goes well. It's been on the Mav server for a while, at least a week. I'm not a Mav, so I don't know. But they did say that it's been up there for a while. And they have, behind the scenes, I don't know. It'll be interesting to me to see how it affects the grain. Because I don't intend a whole lot of movement. People will be buying and selling. What I think this will do is I think this will make it a lot easier for people that want to get into the land game but don't necessarily want to do what I've been doing and a lot of us have been doing. In other words, have to set up two lands, one making grain and the other doing something else like mining SPS or doing research, just to balance each other's out. Some people just want to go in and do SPS, or maybe some people like the idea of stocking up on research. But it'll make it a lot easier to get that grain. And I anticipate the price of grain to go down, because I anticipate the market will be flooded with grain, because we've been sitting here, people have been growing grain for 5-6 months now. So I expect the price of grain, although that I haven't done any peer-to-peer transactions for grain, I expect the price to go down, and obviously it'll moderate out, right? And then working towards 2.0, like I said, I'm really enthused about just making sure, just seeing that it actually works, right? I'm sure it works, but what I'm in the back of my brain, I'm thinking, how are people going to abuse this? What's going to happen, right? And I have nothing against it. The whole point is, if you grow grain, you should be able to sell it, right? And I mean, at the baseline of the land game, I think the very lowest thing is like growing grain and selling it. Obviously, compared to everything else that that's in the works, it's going to be much less profit than everything else, but there's also a lot that goes in. In other words, this is just the baseline. So I'll be happy if this gets up and running and everything just proves to, be running fine, doing what it's supposed to do, and people aren't overly abusing it. Obviously, we'll see probably bots entailed, and I hate, that's a whole nother subject that a lot of people have been doing videos about. I saw, who was it? I forget. Somebody did a video this past week, one of the big Splinterlands guys who's doing videos on other games. He was he was let go of the Splinterlands team. Why am I drawing a blank? Either way, he did a video on bots that are used to not play the game but to sell cards, and I think there will be bots put into buying and selling grain, so you just got to expect that. And I think it's going to be one of those things that if they don't outlaw the use of bots start outlawing the use of bots for that, then everybody's basically just going to have a bot to, if you want to get into the buying and selling trading game. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself nuts, coming down 0.0001 DEC, that kind of thing. I think that's one thing they'll have to watch out for. I haven't heard anybody talk about that, but I can foresee that. Okay, let's see here. Gathering says, how do you think... Oh, I just went over that. KGM says, Steve R82 has some kind of special access, and he was opening some of the jackpot chests the other night and pulled an Untamed pack. Nice. Nice. I've opened a few Untamed packs. When I first got into the game, Untamed had just... was still live, and then it... within playing a week or two, it went out. I've opened a few packs and I've never gotten anything good. I mean, I would say that the ratio of really good play cards in Untamed is a little bit lower than Chaos Legion. And I'm not talking about super special cards like Kitty and things like that. There are several good, a good handful of very good cards in Untamed, but I'd say compared to Chaos Legion, even though Chaos Legion was overprinted and the prices are down, it's a good strong play, especially for prices. But it would be interesting to pull a pack, and if I ever pull any packs, I'll open them live on a video or live stream. Gathering says, I hope they add older cards to the chests as well. Don't have to be expensive. Add some beta commons, untamed rares, essence, and I flipped through and I lost my place. Okay, here I am. Now, okay, so Gathering would like to see some older cards in the chest. Have not heard that mentioned, but it would be nice because I'm sure they have tons of cards to do stuff with. KGM says these jackpot chests are huge. There's no limit to what they can put into them. True. I mean, obviously, if they want to, obviously have people use up a lot of glint on these, they could throw in some nice rewards. Everybody likes to gamble once in a while. I think while I will be doing some of that, I think I will still be concentrating on the rarity draws as far as rare goes to max out my summoners first as a first, DJ says, I agree with Aftersound that right now there is so much grain out there that until that oversupply is used up, it won't be a big deal. However, it's a huge step that we need for Land 2.0. I completely agree. Birds, Bees, and Trees says, wow, imagine putting an Untamed pack and opening a gold kitty. Is that possible? Sure. If you open an Untamed pack, technically you could. I don't know what the percentages are as far as how many packs are out there. What the percentage of drawing that, obviously the percentage would be very low, even drawing a regular kitty, right? So it would be nice though, and that's the whole selling point, right? People like to gamble. Hey, look, check this out. Check my video out. I'm opening up 10 of these jackpot draws, right? Or whatever they call them, chess. He said they're going back to the terminology of chess. Gathering agrees with KGM. DJ says, I want them to throw in random single BCX legendary cards in the jackpots too. Yeah, we've been talking about that. I don't know. We'll see. I hope that when they do put them out here, it looks like on the rest of these, they are doing a mouse over effect, so you can look at and what exactly your percentage odds are of getting each particular thing. I hope they will be in the, the mouse over. Gathering says, yep, they can put any older cards they want in. That's exciting. Paul Taylor says, are we supposed to be seeing your screen? Sorry about that. I had not transitioned. I had left up the old 6th anniversary. Sorry about that. That's my bad. I had not transitioned. Thanks, Paul. Birds, Bees, and Trees, are titles worth it? It just depends. I would like to have a title to throw on one of my lands. Some people are under the opinion now that there are too many titles out there and their value are going down. I don't have a title, so I can't really talk about it. I know my primary use of one would be to throw on a land. As you've heard me say in videos before, I don't necessarily just buy titles or want a title just to have a title, or buy cosmetic stuff in games just to have cosmetic stuff. But I would like it to specifically put on one of my lands because it would help out the land, right? And as you know, I'm in the land game, so. Gathering says, don't forget to lightly tap that like button. Yes, please do. Please do. Like and subscribe. Joffrey Jones is in the house. Thanks for dropping by. Hi, all. Also, they pulled a title, a beta pack, and a land plot also, I believe, probably in 300-ish pulls. That's a lot of pulls. Well, obviously, we can't expect these big things to have a high percentage of dropping, right? It's just like any other gambling thing. You open a pack, you have a very, very small, or a chest, you have a very small chance of hitting that big, bonus, So we'll see. I just don't go into these things thinking you're going to get that really nice thing. It's just a pleasant surprise if you do happen to get it. I do think that maybe if they do have, if they go by the batches like everything else is going, that I might be interested in like getting the first batch. Obviously, a lot of the people on the top end will be going whole hog into it. Who knows? Everybody's got their own strategy. And, even people on the top end are probably still concentrating on getting legendaries. Some people might be saving up for the next set that's coming out down the road, right? So everybody's got a different strategy. And I think a lot of it just depends upon where you see your play deck and what the strengths and weaknesses of your decks are. Like I said, I'm concentrating on summoners, right? So that's why I'm doing rare draws right off the bat. But I'll be doing some of the gambling chests as well. Everybody likes that. Gathering says, what was the cost of the chest? Joffrey says, I think $2,500. That's not bad. Sounds like a decent price. Aaron B's in the house. Thanks for dropping by. They should implement the salt system next and put a toggle in modern so you can decide if you want to earn glint or desalinization crystals for the owners of surveyed land plots only. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. It's been a while since I talked about the whole salt system back when they came out with the news about it on the white paper. But that is one of those things that if you're a land player, you've got to start thinking about. Because down the road when 2.0 comes out and the whole salt system goes in, that's going to be a major thing that affects what you earn off your land on a daily basis. And it's not just going to affect you. The way the system works, it affects the whole region you're in. So to me, you really have to work together as a region to get that salt level down. Now, what you think about the system, whatever, that's besides the point. I'm just looking at the pure gameplay mechanics. But that's a good idea, Aaron. I like that. Aaron continues by saying, let players start desalinating their regions and go to lower. Whenever I use this mouse, it always flips too fast. Okay, says, let players start desalinating their regions and to lower swap fees, taxes, and boost production. It's nice. I like the idea. Since they've already talked about the salt system, and obviously it's a ways down the road, but we have research which is building up, and there's nothing to use it for right now. So I don't see why. Obviously it's another token and. That's a whole different discussion, but I like the idea. Supreme Victory Studio says, Bulldog, you're right. And I'm sorry for forgetting his name, but I remember watching that video a couple days ago. So either way, thanks for that. Gathering says, been flipping packs and the bots are annoying, undercutting by 0.001 and as soon as you list. I think it almost makes the market unusable for just a regular person, almost. But then again, it's just like the game in that when I first got into the game, I thought, why does this game have bots, allow bots? And then it went on, and at that point in time, the team was just very pro-bot, So I'm like, well, I got into it, started using Archmage. If you can't beat them, fight them. Or if you can't beat them, join them, right? So I figure that if I go in and start using the market system on a daily basis, that I'll probably have to get one of those bots. That's just it. But it's a whole game of making sure you set your parameters in those bots exactly where you feel safe. Because if you don't watch out, they could undercut, and pretty soon you're losing a lot of money. So you just got to keep an eye on that. Positive Vibes is in the house. Welcome. Minor chest is 100 glint, 1,000 per batch. Major chest, 750 glint, 500 per batch. Ultimate chest, 2,500 glint, 50 per batch. Sorry, it was 500 for Major first batch, I think. 500 glint. Interesting. We'll see when they come out. We'll see Tuesday, right? I will save some glint up and I'll do a little video. And I'm not going to be open 500, but I'll open the first round of them, whatever it is. Aaron B says the salt tokens can be used to combine with potions during the run-up to a promo event and tradable. Use them for the jackpot chests or during the promo event. All good ideas. I mean, talk about it on, one of the town halls. See what they have to say. The Chunies in the house. Haven't talked to you in a while. Welcome. Will the grain LP payout for adding liquidity? I don't know. Don't have an answer for that. Wibble says, Mr. President. They exchange wees. Positive Vibes says, when hovering over the ultimate chest, it said 33% reward. Here, I'm going to see if I can take a picture of this. Okay. Anyway, 33% reward card, 26% potions, 20% merits, 20% energy, and 1% jackpot. Sounds about right to me. So you have the greatest percentage chance of getting a reward card, followed up by potions. It's a pretty fair chance, percentage chance for potions. I got to be real. 20% merits, 20% energy, and 1% jackpot. Yeah, I would rather have a higher percentage for merits than potions, but then I have plenty of potions. I guess it just depends on how many packs of cards you open usually. Gathering says, donated 900 shards to the guild. Let's get that next level. Well, thank you, sir. He is talking about Golem Overlord. And I need to go ahead and do my claim. Luckily, I haven't been hit too often. But yes, we need to go ahead and level that up. I need to look at that again. We are close to leveling up to level 8. Let's transfer. Nice. Let's go ahead and transfer that. See where we stand. So at this next bunker level, we're going to hit bunker level 8. We will get an extra percentage chance for overall claim. So I'll have to take another look at that after the show. But everything is going nicely in Golem Overlord as well. I think we have one spot open in the guild if anybody wants to join. Let's see here. Pompeii 72, welcome. New name. Thanks for dropping by. Energy only has value if you win. Energy should only be consumed when winning. A loser gets energy back to try again. That's a strong game balance discussion there, because also KGM in several of his videos has mentioned something around the winning and losing, as far as he doesn't believe if you lose you should fall back a little bit. But all that is it's in a strong, I don't have my mind wrapped around it. I know everybody has definite opinions, but I do know that if one little change is made and it could totally imbalance the game, right? So I'll leave that decision up to them. But obviously for people who, if you play a lot Pompeii, then you probably have a better knowledge of it and opinion of it than I do. So Aaron B says, grain LPs will pay out directly into your balances into the pool, which will constantly grow the liquidity of the pool and reduce slippage. Nice. Okay, so we are at a quarter after. So like I said, if you didn't catch the video, I did pick up a couple more land plots this past week in one, and I built them out, which was a fair amount of money to put into the game, but the prices of the land was, I couldn't pass them up. So I have two regions on this side of the map, and then I have some plots over here in number 1, but I could not pass them up this week. So what's everybody else been doing in the game this week? I'll take a drink here. I am excited about the 6-year anniversary of the game. I think that means a lot when you can say, hey, this game's... I think it means more. It means a lot when you say that about a regular game. But it means more in the Web3 space, I think. Especially when you're talking about if the game's going to last, if you can trust the team, you know, various ideas around people saying, oh, this is a scam, stuff like that. It's like, it's been around for 6 years, you know. Joffrey says, in my opinion, they killed the NPE with removing league locks. How can you just start and face thousands of dollars of decks? Yeah, we've been discussing that. And I mean, I keep going back and forth because I can see why they did it. Obviously, what ended up happening was a lot of unintended. I don't think they expected to happen exactly what did happen, and therefore they ended up putting more company-run bots in Modern. So I'm looking forward to some more of that, or I'm looking forward to more actual people joining Modern. So to your point, so I can jump back into Modern and play with my deck and not immediately being, you know, I jump back in, I'm in silver, not immediately being hammered by max level decks, right? I can understand your opinion. Pompey72 says people bot because they don't want to waste energy losing. Yeah, I mean, that's a good discussion right there, because a lot of people have talked about this in various videos and everything, talked about the value of going into Modern and how much you earn per match and all this being much more. I'm like, yeah, that's all great and that's all good, but that's if you win, right? If you go into Modern and you end up winning once and you end up losing 5 times in a row, you're really not, even if that one time you won is 2 or 3 or 4 times what you won in Wild, you're still losing because you lost those other 5 matches, right? I've said this a number of times. I still use Archmage in Wild because here's the facts. The facts is I want to get what I can as far as, you know, SPS and Glint from my, the money I've put into the game. And over the years, I initially got in because I really like the idea of the cards, you know, getting cards and being able to buy, sell, trade them and everything like that. Obviously, that was abused, and that's a whole nother conversation. We're in Soulbound now. But gradually over the years, all these big changes that have happened in the game to, you know, in theory, combat bots, which it has. It has reduced the bots and everything like that. But it's also reduced what we make off the game. So I guess my opinion is that I'm using a bot so that it can continue just to make money off the game, and then I will strategically use my account when I want to actually play. Like I play my guild brawls, right? And I'm thinking about if things get into a position with the player experience and everything, going back and testing out the waters in Modern. You know, I wouldn't be against that. But, you know, I have this strong theory that right now if I did it, I would just get hammered, right? So, and I know myself, I'd be sitting here hitting my head against the desk after about that, I don't know, maybe after about the 3rd or 4th loss in a row, I kind of lose interest really fast. And it's not that I want to win everyone. You know, everybody, there's a lot of people that are much better players than I am. People have much stronger decks, etc. But I do think, and I do agree with the overall sentiment, I should be able to play in silver with, or gold, or wherever my deck is without playing max level cards, you know. So, and I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but, you know, say what you will, but I shouldn't be playing in silver and playing against a max level deck. All right, so Okay, enough for that. A lot of off center comments there. So let's see here. Pompey says new players that lose a lot will quit soon. I agree. Okay. To get new players in the game, you have to make the game easier to get into. You have to make it cheaper to get into. You have to interest them. You have to draw them in. You have to let them see that they're winning, and not necessarily winning all the time, but they have the chance of winning, and the chance that they have of winning, SPS or cards or what have you, to keep them in the game. And if you just draw people in, I know if I was new to the game and you said, "Hey, Bronze Dragon, here's a great new game. Go ahead and play it," and I start playing it, and I'm like, cool. Loss. Oh, you just need to put $2,000 into the game. What? Loss. Delete. See you later. That's just me, though. Ghostly BG's in the house. Welcome. New players will be facing the liquidity bots in bronze. They won't lose a lot. True. He did say a high percentage of the bots were were put into bronze. Pompey72 says, guarantee a win for each energy. A good player will quick at a higher rank. A weak player will take more time and win at a lower rank. I don't know about the guarantee for each energy, because then it comes down to I'm sure that would affect the overall balance. I'm not sure about that. I'm sure that the guys who look at this and specifically look at game balancing, because they've changed the whole energy thing over the years, whatever you want to call it, the mechanism that regulates how many times you can play per day, it's changed several times over the years. So, and obviously they're trying to keep it somewhat fair. Obviously it is more of a pay to win if you want to pay for more energy, and with the new system coming out in the chest this coming week, you will be able to go over max energy. So it might be interesting to see how the people in the top of the leaderboard use that, and kind of strategize and use the extra energy that they could possibly get off of chests. We'll see. More to come on that, though. Joffrey says they really need to implement card skins, battle pass, card backs, background skins, animated cards, etc., etc. This seems like low-hanging fruit. Obviously, once again, small team, but I completely agree with you. We've talked about this a number of times. Lots of other games out there sell skins, etc. I like the idea of skins being a possibility in like the gambling chest, etc. But I like the idea of the skins that give you some other type of value other than just skins. Like the whole idea, going back to the skin of, or the idea of a couple weeks ago of putting a skin on and it changing the stats of one of your cards so that you can strategize a new kind of deck play. I like that idea. But you're right. A lot of games out there, not even Web 3, the Web 2 games. Hey, buy a skin for this gun. Look cool. Pay $10 into the game. That, as well as the Battle Pass, we've talked about that idea. Completely agree with that. That goes along with the whole idea where a lot of these free-to-play games, guess what? It brings people in on a daily basis. Log into the game, you get a free, small, whatever it is, X. But if you have the Battle Pass, you get this, And, there's been lots of ideas around out there that could be included in the Battle Pass. But the whole idea is bringing in a monthly solid flow of cash to the team. Okay, because there's a lot of us that would pay for that Battle Pass. Probably $5, $10 a month, whatever it is. I probably wouldn't go over $10 a month. That's just me. But it also just depends upon what it brings. Like the Battle Pass, or it's not a Battle Pass, it's called something else for Atlas Earth, but it's $50. I'm opening up to see. I'm looking at my game. Explorers Club. It's $50 a month, but you get more than what you get more in game than $50 a month. out of that Explorer's Pass. So, and if you're interested in Atlas Earth, check out the show notes. I did put a new code in there you can use. So I'm just saying it would be a steady cash flow to the team, and I completely agree on that. Let's see here. Chooney says, do you know what is approximately the going rate price for grain for DC? I do not know, because I'm in the position of being equalized out, and I've been making my own grain, and I make enough on a daily basis to be slightly more. I'm making about 10 to 20% more grain than what I need across my 14 plots. So I have not been in the grain buying situation, so I can't tell you that. Pompey says, great, we got rid of bots just to put them back in. Well, there you go. Ghostly BG says, we put them cause the new rank system needs a lot more liquidity to work. If you get enough people, the bots will no longer be needed. I agree. If that's the point you were talking about, I agree. So he's right. They put them into modern to try to help equalize the load of basically people were getting in, and they were hitting two things. First of all, it was taking a long time to find a match because there wasn't a lot of match liquidity. Second of all, people were getting in and getting into, like, which I did, getting into silver and facing champion level decks. There's two things, and that's how they equalize that out. So I don't have anything against those bots they put into the game. Okay. A lot of games out there, you get into the game and you're playing against the computer, which is a bot, right? They're using cards that are taken from the ecosystem that they had on hand. So those come out of the ecosystem, and those bots are not taking anything out of the SPS pool or anything like that, or glint pool. So I don't have a problem with that. But he's right, Ghostly is right, by the saying that if once we attract new players, then we get to a certain level, they can start phasing those bots out. Then you're playing against other people with lower level, bronze level decks, silver level decks, etc. So let's see here. Pompey says, yes, you need more people, but you can have the same people just playing more games. But if you have the same people in modern and they all have diamond and champ level decks, it doesn't help the people that want to get into modern and play in the bronze and silver level, right? So L4's in the house. Welcome. In my opinion, Shadowverse has a smart way rewarding cards with playing story mode. Each story has battle scene, and if you win, they reward cards. Splinterlands could use that method. Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. I've played a number of games where you have this PvE, and I think that Gathering the Magic and a few other people have talked about that idea about having about a PvE part of the game. And I like that idea. Obviously, once again, we're back to the small development team, and it would take a team dedicated to making that happen. And so Aaron B says grain price on peer-to-peer is at 3 cents, 0.03 DEC. I guess that's 0.03 DEC per grain. Okay. Well, yeah, and I guess I've been strategically out of that market because my whole strategy was to make enough grain to not have to worry about getting on and buying grain on a daily basis just to keep my lands going, right? And even going into 2.0, my strategy now is, guess what? These last 2 plots of land I picked up this week are types of land that could grow grain in 2.0 if I needed them. Okay, too. Who knows at this point what they're going to end up doing in 2.0. At this point, one of them's making grain and one of them's mining SPS for me. It's improved my SPS daily intake by a little bit, and who knows when 2.0 comes. But I am a little bit psyched about this launching this week, the grain market. So whatever they're going to call it, because like I said, That's a major hurdle because the rest of the markets are going to be based on that. That's going to be the blueprint, and that was a major hurdle. Once it gets up and running and we prove that it's working, I'll breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, well, thanks everybody for dropping by. I appreciate your time. I hope everyone has a good week and everybody on your side is happy and healthy. Check out the pinned comment. Go over and give my article on Peak D a like if you would. And also in the show notes, if you're interested in making a little bit of extra money on Atlas Earth, you can check out my code and get in and not pay any money and play a decently fun game on a daily basis. Okay, so this has been Bronze Dragon. I'll see you on the flip side.